Okay, so the car, I changed some stuff. I cut that open so we get some more airflow to the intercooler, and so far it seems to be working. Another thing we did, I put these BTR valve covers on and added some more breathers. I got one there, and I got one on this side. This one was kind of a bitch to get in, but it fit. And I had to add another catch can setup. So my Motion one was working good, but these hoses, these AN lines, they go all the way down, and we welded bungs. I'll try to get a good picture. You can kind of see in there. See the 90 in there. So there's one there, and then there's one behind. You just can't see it because the intake runner's in the way. Now, it was working good, except there's no baffles in there. It's just an open hole. So it was getting a lot of oil accumulation in the catch can, and it would fill the catch can up like after one pass. It would be overflowing, it would be blowing out of here because it would be full. So to remedy that, I made a little tank and I made another tank and put it down in here. You probably can't see because it's too dark, but I put another tank here with a drain, so essentially it just drained from one tank to this tank, and then that would give me some more time in between having to drain it. So, you know, gave it somewhere else to go. So it was working, but this would get me, basically I'd have about 4 quarts, or I'm sorry, not 4 quarts, I'd have about a half a quart in here after about, I don't know, half an hour of highway driving with like 4 test pulls on that. And then I'd drain it and I'd have about a half a quart, which I think is way excessive. So I did some more research and figured out that's why, was because I didn't have baffles in there to try to keep that oil mist to a minimum. So I ended up getting the BTR valve covers, and they have a baffle in there, which you can move the baffle wherever you want, front, back, same on this side. But I got so much stuff going on in the back, I just decided to put them in the front. So I got both of them in here, and they go to their own catch can, which I might tee off the bottom of that. I might go off the bottom of that one to the drain on this one, so they both go to that same tank, so I don't have to drain 2. I could just drain 1, and then I get a better idea of what's going on. So that's that update. The other thing I changed was my wastegate setup. You know, I put the Mac valve in, and pressure transducer for the computer, blah blah blah, so it's going to be controlled from the computer. However, I originally had it coming out of the compressor here, okay, and there was a T, and this would go into the Mac valve over here, okay, and then the other end of the T would go this way and go to the bottom port. Where is it? Would go right here to the back side of the plunger. Now, that's like the way everyone says to hook it up. So that's what I did, and it didn't work. I could only build, and my springs in there are 14.5 springs. That's the most you can get with this particular Summit Racing brand wastegate. So I'm sure I could have messed around and found other springs, but that's all they offered. So anyway, I hooked it up that way, and I would only ever be able to get, so even without any of this hooked up, just on spring pressure, I'd only get about between 6 and 7 psi would be the maximum boost I could ever get, even though I had the 14.5 springs in there, you know, back pressure and whatnot. So I did this to try to get, originally I had the, I don't know if you guys remember, but I had the manual adjustment here, and I had it hooked up the proper way, and then same problem. No matter what I did for the manual adjuster, I would still only get 7 psi, even if I had all the pressure going to the top of the wastegate on the dome side. I still would only build 7 pounds, and I always thought it was something wrong with that. So I hooked it up like this, where I had nothing going to the backside, and then once I did that, I could just open that thing a very little bit and only apply a couple of psi to the dome, and I would build, you know, 14, 15, 16 pounds of boost. So when I did this, I did it the right way first, and I had the same issue. No matter what we set the dome pressure to, it would never even get to that dome pressure. The most dome pressure I could ever get to was 7, and even at 7 pounds dome pressure, I was only getting 7 pounds of boost, which made no sense. I had the dome pressure set all the way up to like 25 at one point, and still the dome pressure would only get to 7, and I could only get 7 pounds of boost. So I think it was because I'm fighting the exhaust pushing the wastegate open, in conjunction with boost reference coming from here to the back side of the wastegate was also pushing it open. So it could never build enough pressure to hold that closed, because I had all the pressure to the back side of the thing. So I'm assuming when you hook it up with like a CO2 bottle, you could overcompensate that, because CO2 you can up to 100 psi and you'll be fine. I don't have that. I didn't want to mess with all that, so I just eliminated that, and I only have compressor going to the MAC valve. Computer controls it, and it goes to the top of the dome, and then I have a sensor there, obviously, so I can read, you know, I know how much dome pressure I'm putting. So I did some testing with that, and it seems like between 5 and 5.5 dome pressure, it'll do 14, 15 psi of boost. Now I'm testing this, you know, third gear, wide open throttle, for like a good 5 seconds on the highway, because that's really the only time you can get traction. I even tried it with slicks. It works okay with slicks, but you could do I did a couple second gear full throttle, shifted into third gear pulls with the slicks, and same. So it's working really good. I was supposed to go to the track this weekend, but we got rained out. It's actually starting to rain right now. So anyways, that's where I'm at now. Everything seems to be working good now. I just gotta wait for, you know, a non-rain day. And then another cool thing is these AN hoses and fittings. I got that tool off of Amazon, and I'll show you that. It works pretty good. Alright, so like I was saying, I got this tool from Amazon for hooking these up. It actually works pretty good. I mean, fit and finish wise, it's got, you know, it's got a little bit of play in there, but it works pretty good. It comes with, I just made a little case here, but it comes with, you know, all the different dies that go inside of here for the different size fittings. You know, it goes from, it comes with 4 AN, 4, what's it say, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 AN. cutters, which I've marked to only use on AN hose, so some jagoff doesn't borrow them and start cutting branches with them. And now originally I was only using the blocks, you know, put them in the vise, and you put your fitting in there, and you got to do it by hand. And my God, it sucked. Okay, it takes forever. This setup, super easy. Take your fitting, you pop it in here. You know, once you have the right dies, you pop it in there, you push it in. It's a pretty tight fit. You get it all, you push it all the way in. You set your hose up. I like to have it about right there. And then, you know, the hose always has a little bit of a curve, but it's not a big deal. Take this part, you wind it in, and like I used to be a stickler on all them little hairs, trying to get them all tucked in around, you know, like nice. With this, you just get it close, and it rams it right in there. So you just get it close, you wind that in. What? You know, I know what he wants. He loves these things, these peanut butter pretzels. Oh, and this is Weaver, my brother's dog. Good girl. Everybody knows Copper, but they love these things. Maisie's in the house. It's too early for her. She comes up, goes to the bathroom, goes right back inside. But yeah, so like I was saying, you get this lined up just close, and then you wind this down, and it's going to push that fitting right onto your hose. Super nice. As soon as you start seeing it like really crunching up, you know it's in all the way. Back it off, loosen this, and then this is my only complaint with this, is the little release pin to open this jaw. It's like in the front here, so you have to push that, and then you got to try to pry this door open. So I usually just get like a screw or a knife or something, and then you just pop this open. All right, relax. There, you get that popped open, get your fitting out, you're done. Look at that. Perfect. It's in all the way. Super simple. And then I usually just pop this out of the vise, put my jaws back in the vise. Okay, I put this into the notch on there. Take your other fitting, the other half of your fitting. I don't want to make this one up because this was just for demonstration. I want to save this. And that's another thing. These cheaper AN fittings, they're kind of like a one-time use. Once you make this up, if you try to reuse this, it kind of messes I mean, I put a lot of lube on these threads, like some oil, and then in here, and then it makes it real easy to go together, but you can get them apart, but it usually screws the threads up. So don't put them together unless you're sure that's the fitting you want. So I just wanted to go over that because this tool is really cool. I was on the fence about getting it because even though it's a cheap Chinese one, it's still like 150 bucks. The name brand ones are like twice that, which I'm sure if I got the name brand one, you know, it wouldn't have that amount of play in it, but who cares? I mean, it works, and I've used it a lot. I've used it a lot, and it's still holding in there. It still works good. Same with the cutters. These were like a cheaper set of cutters, but they work great. But yeah, that's, you want another one? Another one? All right, one more. But yeah, they work really nice, and it'll make your AN situation a hell of a lot faster. I mean, at least cuts your time in half. It's totally worth it. Absolutely. Hopefully, maybe later today or sometime, I'll try to get some videos of the car, you know, driving and hopefully at the track. That would be ideal. Would be to be able to get to the track, but with the rain and they canceled it. It was on, and then they posted that there was too much rain and we couldn't race, so I didn't end up going. But yeah, hopefully we get one and everything goes good. So stay tuned for that. You guys ready? Go outside? Come on. Come on, let's go.